If your sales team's not closing enough jobs, it's probably not the sales team directly. It's probably the system that you have created for these people to come in and actually sell and be successful in your company. And today I'm going to walk you through the 3 big things that I see pretty much all contractors do when they first come to us that are killing their sales culture today and making it almost impossible for people to win within their system. And if I've not met you before, my name is Steve Huber. I'm the founder of Billion Dollar Contractor. Before I started my advisory company, my teams, the ones I built, did $2 billion worth of home improvement projects in all the trades from solar, roofing, HVAC, fences, windows, siding. We even did turf and painting for a little bit. And I learned a lot of things along the way. One of them was how to build a great sales team and great sales culture. And today I'm going to share it with you. Before I go there, I want to start with how most contractors treat salespeople and sales teams. They have a problem, which is they need more sales or they need to get out of the sales field themselves. They hire a body to throw at that problem, and then they're surprised when that person fails. They give them no structure, no guidance, no goals. Then they blame them. When they fail and they fall apart, they're like, hey, I guess I'm just the best salesperson this company can have. Nobody can sell like I can. And unfortunately, that's not the truth. The reality is that people can sell for your company, and the only way you're actually going to grow your company is getting other people to sell for you. But if you're struggling here, it is your fault. It is your problem that your sales team is not executing the way that it needs to. The number one thing that causes this is no defined sales process. Now, again, I'm not going in particular order. I'm going to give you 3. This is number 1. There's no defined process here. Every rep's out doing their own thing. You've not actually told people how to be successful doing what you do. Imagine IKEA, huge furniture company, right? IKEAs are everywhere. I think everybody could say they're a pretty successful company. They give you instructions on how to put together the chair and the table, even though everybody knows what a table and a chair look like. The reason they've done that is because they want you to be successful. Can you imagine if they just sent you a box with all the parts and said, good luck, figure it out? Now imagine doing something like that with a sales process that nobody even knows how it's supposed to look and operate because it's your company. Everybody knows what a table looks like. Not everybody knows what your sales process looks like. And if you don't provide them instructions, they're not going to do it right more often than not. You're also not going to get consistency. You're not going to have a way to improve. You're not going to have any idea how to scale because you've not defined what it is that should be happening and how it works and operates. Speaking of consistency and not being able to scale, if you have all your salespeople setting different expectations, selling different products, you're not standardizing any of those things and how they all work and operate, you're going to have a very difficult time building all the work that gets sold. Even if by some remote chance you happen to build a great sales team that's selling a lot of jobs with everybody doing their own thing, building the work is going to be a nightmare. So you want to make sure you have a defined sales process. So how do you do this? What are the things that you should do? Well, number 1, just start writing them down. Start outlining what does the sales process at your company look like? From the time a lead comes in, how the appointment's booked, what happens if they show up, what happens if they don't show up, what happens if we sell it, what happens if we don't sell it. Just start documenting what you do today. In that process, you're going to find a whole lot of things that exist and gaps and holes that are there that you didn't even know were there until you started actually writing it out. Or you're going to find out that your process is actually pretty dialed in and you've got things going on that weren't intuitive. They've just been happening all along, but now you get to define them. When you go and do the same thing for your sales reps, you need to outline what happens when they start talking to a customer. What is the first thing you want them to do? What is the second thing you want them to do? If you want them to tell your company's story, how do you want them to tell your company's story? If there's a pain that they're trying to solve, how do they uncover and talk about that pain? If they offer a solution, how do they offer that solution? Do they pitch financing? Are they selling cash? Define it for them. Start there. Just get your sales process documented and accountable with the sales team that's there. Doesn't mean they can't put their own flavor on it and you have to micromanage them, but you need to give them a recipe to follow if you want them to be successful. Again, putting your IKEA furniture together, maybe you have your own way of doing it, your own tools, but They give you the roadmap. They say this is how you need to put it together. This is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You have to do the same thing. All right. The second thing that pretty much everybody that we work with that first comes to us, they struggle with is no tracking or visibility. If you don't know the amount of jobs that you sold last month, last week, last year, who your top person was, who the worst person was, what's going on, where the pipeline is at. If you're watching this right now and your pipeline consists of I didn't sell them or I did sell them, and there's no distinction between what's in the middle, you are missing the boat here. 100%. And I talk to contractors all the time that'll say, I can't get my guys to use the CRM. It's like, well, did you train them on the CRM? No. Do you manage through the CRM? No. Do you use the CRM as a sales tool? No. Well, then I'm sorry, you're not ever going to get salespeople to use your CRM. You built something that's merely a hindrance for them to go do what they need to do. At least that's how it's perceived. And you don't even use it yourself, which is why you don't know your numbers, you don't know your team, you don't know what's going on with your company, because you're not paying any attention to it. So, how do you get people to actually start using your CRM so you can track what's going on and have visibility into what's working and what's not working? Step number 1, you need to use it. You, the owner or the manager of the sales team, needs to own the process of how the CRM gets used. You need to use it. So again, if you don't know how many jobs you sold this month, you're never going to use it. Start using it to manage your business. In that process, you are going to find that you need your sales team to do what they need to do to manage their business so that you can manage your business. And you start outlining it. The second thing you want to do is, as you go through that process, get sales involved. Ask them what would be helpful. How are you managing all of your quotes? How do you follow up with people that you talked to a month ago or a week ago? How do you go back to them? How do you identify the sales stages that you need in there so that a job flows progressively from start to finish? It's intuitive in the way that it works. Salespeople don't think like operations people. They certainly don't think like tech people. Sometimes the best salespeople suck at tech. You got to make it really simple for them to use and make it a tool that they use to run their business. So give it a shot. But again, it starts with you making sure that you use your CRM to actually manage your business. All right, the number 3 thing. Again, no particular order here. These are all super important. No onboarding or support for new reps. I can't tell you when I'll talk to a contractor and they're like, hey, I'm really struggling to find good people. I can't find A players. And I ask them, well, I consider myself an A player. If I wanted to come work for your company, what would my first week look like? And they say, I don't know. I'd probably have you hop in the truck with me and we'd drive around town. That sounds terrible. That sounds like you've never onboarded somebody before in your life. And I get it. We all start here, but you have to change it. Otherwise, you're not ever going to be able to hire A player people into your company, which means that you're probably not going to have a very good sales team. The A players especially want to see that you have ongoing support systems, that you have a way to onboard them and do the things that you say you're going to do. And so ask yourself, am I setting people up for success and a foundation to go be successful? Or am I setting them up for failure because I just kind of throw them to the wolves and say, good luck? And it's like Gladiator and the survival of the fittest. The strongest one will make it out the other side. I got to put 100 people into this thing and maybe one guy works. That's not a good way to make a living. You want to have some training systems in place, expectations in place. With all of our clients, we build them out a 1-week onboarding program. And it literally outlines every single day what we're working on with our new hires. We have a whole way to onboard people in, get them spun up fast, get them launched and making cash so that they understand what to expect. Again, I consider myself to be a good salesperson. If I was going to hire on with your company, I said, hey, what would my first week look like? You were like, oh, that's a really great question, Steve. Here's exactly what your first week would look like. Wow, that's terrific. Yeah, Monday we're going to do this, and Tuesday we're going to do this, and Wednesday we're going to do this, and Thursday we're going to do this, and Friday we're going to do this. And by the way, the first 2 weeks, here's the goal. The first month, here's the goal. The first 60 days, here's the goal. First 90 days, here's the goal. Here's when we see you being at these places. Here's the expectations that we have for you as a salesperson. That's not intimidating to me as an A player. That's super exciting. You've actually done this before. You look like a company that has been around the block a little bit and understands how to onboard and support your sales team. Again, if you don't have that, A players are not going to go in. They're not going to stay in this environment of chaos when they have options. They just straight up won't. They're going to leave and go somewhere else that has those systems figured out. So take a minute to really look at your program and say, do I know how to onboard salespeople? Do I know how to support those salespeople as they grow in my company and as they mature and grow over time? One of the things it took me way too long to understand is that great sales teams are not built by just hiring better people. They are built by installing systems even average people can win inside of. If your goal is just simply to hire the A player sales reps and the very top tier upper talent of the entire market, you're going to have a really tough time. These people are hard to move, which is why they're loyal, and they're part of what makes them great. They've been in the same system forever. They usually don't jump company to company. So we have to find a way to where people can win with us and they're encouraged to do so. So make sure that you've got those things done. So do you have a defined process in your CRM, your pipeline, your onboarding systems, your scorecards, all of those things? Take a real honest look at it and ask yourself, am I doing the things that I need to do to allow people to win with me? Again, don't be the owner that says, nobody can sell the way that I can. I'm the best salesperson this company will ever have. And yet you're artificially making it that way because you're not teaching anybody else how to operate and be successful in your company. Think of that IKEA table. IKEA would not be the company it is today without instructions. Same exact product, but if they took away the instructions tomorrow, nobody would figure it out, nobody would be successful, and IKEA would be out of business. One of the hardest parts about all this is that it's probably not intuitive to you or something you can easily identify. Things make sense to you. You're like, hey, of course this is how we do things because it's how we've always done it. A new guy doesn't get that. He's been with you for 5 minutes. And so sometimes it takes somebody coming in from the outside and looking at those problems and identifying what they are because you can't see them yourselves. In other words, you're part of the problem. And that's why the problem's hard to fix. We all have this. I have these issues in my business, which is why I have people come in and help me out and look at my business and say, Steve, the systems process sucks, or the website looks ugly, or, whatever. I got a whole slew of things that we work on. And it's helpful for me to have that perspective because, again, things that look like common sense to me don't look like common sense to somebody else. And that's ultimately what we're in the business in. We're in the business of supporting people, helping people grow and do the things that they want to do. And again, it can be challenging to pick your own self apart. So if you're struggling with this and you need somebody to come in from the outside, look at it with you, I'll put a link down below. We do a diagnostic service with all of our clients here. That's how everybody starts working with us. And really, it all starts with just a conversation to see what you need help with. We give you some tips. We help point in the right direction. No obligation other than just it's a paid diagnostic. So literally you hire us to come in and do that work for you. And if you'd like to work with us long-term to help you implement those changes and help hold your hand through the whole way so you can actually build the company you want to build, that's what we're here for. That's our business. But it starts with that diagnostic. I'll put it down below for you. Again, sometimes helpful to have a second set of eyes. If nothing else, get some organization in there. Your people, you owe it to them, especially the future people that you hire in that want to put their faith in you for their livelihood, for their family's well-being. You owe it to them to be a good employer and put your best foot forward as well. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.